it's Francine Simone, and hopefully you just came from the other video, but if not, and this is your first time on my channel, welcome! Yeah, welcome! So anyways, before I say anything in this video, the title is obviously how to balance YouTube and life. More specifically, BookTube, because that's the YouTube community I'm a part of. But I do want to go ahead and throw out this disclaimer. So obviously you can see I'm not managing a huge account. I have less than 2,000 subscribers, but I do take my channel extremely seriously because it's part of my work as a writer, really getting out there and communicating and talking and connecting with other people. So I do approach it with a type of professionalism, even though it is something super fun that I do, because if I didn't, I'd probably be holed up in a room staring out the window, wishing for dark clouds while I'm writing to Moonlight Sonata. So this is just my experience so far, what I find are pros and cons of having a YouTube channel and being a content creator. Some of the great things that have happened because of it, some of the hard things, or some of the pressures that it puts on me, or some of the stress that it puts on me in my life. So this is all just my experience. Everybody else's can be different. I do want you to keep in mind that I am also a stay-at-home mom, and I'm also a writer, on top of being a content creator for BookTube. So I have a lot on my plate, and so some people may be like, bitch, you complaining about a little too much. And most of all, I don't want anyone to take this video as a reason not to get out there and make videos and to have fun, because it is super fun no matter how busy you are or how not busy you are. It's all in what you want out of it, and that's really going to dictate how much you put into it. And, you know, the more fun you have, the more you're going to want to do it. And that might cause some stress, but it's fun stress, right? Because it's something you enjoy doing. So with all that being said, let's jump into the video. So this discussion video actually came about because of Chammy from Read Like Wildfire. I will link her video down below. She asked me to make this discussion video, even though I don't know why, because if you go and look at this girl's videos, like, she is hilarious, she's funny. I mean, like, her Instagram, I mean, like, pictures galore. Like, I don't even know why she's not modeling for something right now. She is just amazing on all fronts, and I find it really hard to believe that Cami is even interested in this topic, because she's been making videos longer than I have, and she just, like, has it all together on her channel. I, like, just go watch her stuff. You'll love it. Okay, so what you don't know is I literally just had to stop and edit out a huge portion where my son came in asking for a whole bunch of stuff, and he brought his drums in here because he wants to play drums in here instead of in his room, after I've already told him that he has to be quiet in here and he has to only play in there. So that's like a huge, like, 10 minutes right there just trying to make this video. I really hope to God that the battery, I'm looking at the battery life right now, I'm hoping that that doesn't go out, because oh my God. And then, like, didn't turn it off. I should have. I just thought it would be really quick because he just had a small question that turned into, like, something huge, and then he threw a tantrum about it. And that is what I'm talking about right now, balancing that shit in YouTube. So first I want to talk about what my channel is, and so then we can talk about, like, how I even try to balance that. So I do BookTube because it's fun, it's creative, and I get to be silly, and I get to be myself, and it's super fun. But on BookTube, that means I have to talk about books, which means I have to read books, which you'd be like, duh, but then at the same time, it's like, that's really time consuming. And I try to put out videos every week, so that means I have to read a book every week. That's why a lot of you may have noticed I only do hyped books, and my focus is on finding out if they're quality or not. I did have to find a way to focus on what type of books I would read, or what did I want the books on my channel to focus on. Sterling! Ugh, okay. So that was one thing. Next is I do writing tips, which means I am now splitting the focus of my channel. Some people only come here for book reviews. Some people might only come for writing tips. Some people for both, but nonetheless, I'm splitting the audience and the focus, which can be a dangerous thing, because I might lose subscribers who are like, this bitch keep talking about writing, I ain't about that. Or this bitch needs to stop talking about books. She's an author, stick to writing, stick to what you know, which is funny because I write books, so I should know about books. So sometimes I get worried about that. If I do writing tips, then I have to do a book review a week, because I need to have something for both people who watch my channel, which means twice the work. So can I juggle that? Yeah, for the most part. Now here comes in the third part, the creativity or discussion videos and the other weird shit that I do. I have to find really different and other creative videos and creative ways to really get things going and to start discussions and to have fun. Because one, just doing reviews and writing tips can be kind of boring. It's boring for me, and I'm that type of person that if I think something's boring, I think everybody thinks it's boring. So now I'm, like, racking my brain for, like, creative stuff I can do, which is why I came up with the Dear Francinas, because it was so much fun. I like giving advice, even though I probably shouldn't, because I mean, do you guys know me? Two, like, I just like talking a lot, so this is really fun for me. But I think I'm really well known for my discussion videos, but the pressure is coming up with these things all the time. Like, there's only so much that you can discuss. Unless you guys provide them, then it's going to take me a while to come up with them, and it's generally going to be something I'm really interested in. Like Jamie mentioned this, and this is something that I've been struggling with, balancing being a content creator with everything else that I do. And so it's something I'm interested in. It's something I'm dealing with right now, and that's why we're talking about it. So let's move on. So since you already know what my channel looks like, let me show you what my life looks like, and then you can get an idea of what I have to balance. So my husband works 5 days a week, so that means he has 2 days off in a week. I'm a stay-at-home mom, which means I have no days off in a week. And I'm also a writer, which means I have to find time to actually write. Otherwise, I'm not really a writer. I'm just someone who talks a lot about writing but never actually does it. So generally, I like to think of YouTube time as between Monday through Thursday. That's the time I have to upload videos. That's the time that I have to do shit. All the other time is for me to do everything else. Sometimes my husband's days off are irregular, so if they fall in between that Monday to Thursday range, that can really kill me because I can't get work done when he's home. It's like, when your best friend's over, you can't just like ignore them and do other stuff. You have to talk to them about stuff, and the next thing you know, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Or if you do ignore your best friend, you're like, oh, I could have spent so much time with my best friend, but I couldn't because I had work to do, and this sucks. Feels like you're kind of grounded, which I ain't about that life. I grew up a long time ago. Ain't nobody grounding me no more. So let's just talk about my day if my husband has, like, say, Saturday, Sunday off. So Monday through Thursday, I wake up maybe around 9 to 10. It depends on how long I stayed up the previous night before, which these days I sometimes don't go to bed until like 3 or 4, which is killing me. I really need to sleep better. Otherwise, I'm going to get sick, and y'all going to have to look at this snot nose for the next 3 weeks. My son usually wakes me up by screaming about wanting to have food. I usually fix him food. By now, it's probably 9:30 to 10:30, which by now I'm planning out ideas or scripting out something for a YouTube. So while he's eating breakfast, I try to think about that. And then usually my son stops eating breakfast halfway through and he demands other food, which I tell him, you ain't wasting food in this house. You better finish that. We have an argument for about 45 minutes on whether or not he's going to finish his yogurt or not. And then I move on to try to eating my breakfast, in which we then have an argument for about an hour about why he can't eat my breakfast because he still hasn't eaten his. Or I have to take my dog out because he has food issues too, where he likes to leave food in his bowl and then complain about not having food by trying to eat my food or my son's food. Why does everyone have food problems in my house? But definitely by 12 o'clock, I try to start filming something. And I just pray to God that my husband doesn't have a lunch around that time. So from about 11 to, let's say, 2 or 3 o'clock, that's the time I have to film. I try to film as many videos as I possibly can in that time, so then I can edit them throughout the rest of the week. I have to get other things done, like reading that next book for review. I also have to beta read for 2 other people, and oh my god, I swear to God, I'm the worst beta reader. You guys probably shouldn't even ask because I'm so busy, it takes me so long to just sit down and to read a few things. So now it's probably about lunchtime. I have to feed my son, in which we go through this argument again about why he has to finish his food before he can ask for anything else. Now I try to get a lot of my actual book stuff done. A lot of you may know that I have a book coming out September 7th. If you're new to this channel and it's sometime far in the future, go check out my book, see if you like it. If you've been following me and this is uploaded today and you're watching it, then you probably know I have a book coming out in September. What a lot of you may or may not know is whether you traditionally publish or self-publish, you have to be your own promoter. You're essentially your own everything, which means I have to get out there and I have to set up blog tours, press releases. It really sucks to write a whole book and then nobody reads it because nobody knows you exist. So I have to work on all that shit in between, which also means learning how to do it because none of us are coming out of that vagina knowing how to market or brand or anything like that. So I have to read a lot of books on marketing and branding and just building up myself as a person in general, being a better person. And so I have to stack those on top of the books that I'm reading that week, plus the beta reading I have to do. So now let's throw in that week, I also have to work on my 3rd book. So I only got really 7 days to do this. 5 if I want to be a good wife. 8 hours in 1 day if I want to be a good mom. Actually, probably should say less than that because my kid just be running around like crazy. So the question is, how do you balance YouTube and life? Wow, talked on all that and I still haven't talked about balancing it. The issue is I don't know how. It is so difficult, guys. I'm the type of person that never clocks out. Like, there are some people who can 9 to 5 themselves in the writer life or 9 to 5 themselves in YouTube life or whatever it is. I'm the type of person where I consume it all, I embody it all, and I never clock out. That's why sometimes I can be up 4 o'clock in the morning, like just trying to read a book or doing whatever because I just don't have the time. Like Hamilton, I just be writing like I'm running out of time, but really, for reals, I'm running out of time. Like I just don't have enough time in the week to do everything that I have to do. So some of the things that I do try to do that I think help, but you know, I'm not exactly the best role model for this at all, but I organize my time. I come up with goals. I come up with my overall goals, my 5-year goals, my year goal, my month goal, my weekly goals, my day-to-day life goals. And I try to focus on doing one thing specifically that will help everything else. And after I do that one thing, then I do the next one thing that makes everything else easier. And I really try to just chunk that in. I also really have started to learn how to say no. My time is extremely precious because I don't have enough of it. It is the one thing we have no guarantee of. That's one of the best quotes I've ever heard. You have to be stingy with your time. That's not to say to be an asshole and tell people, fuck you, my time's important. But you do have to know that your time is worth something because you don't know if you have even the next minute. Like I could literally aneurysm out and you guys never see this video. Oh, talk about crazy. I also try to do things in small chunks. Like I was talking to someone else a few days ago and she mentioned to me that like she like hardly ever comments on her videos. But this chick has like a ton of subscribers. Like guys, I don't even have 2,000. But I can tell you, I have like maybe every video might congregate like 50 comments. And just commenting on those comments can be so overwhelming because there's so many. And it takes a long time for me to read someone's comment and to think thoughtfully about what I'm going to say back. I want to say more than just thank you. Someone might say, oh, awesome video. And I'm thinking like, I need to say more than thank you because this other chick said nice video and I said thank you, heart smiley face. And if I say thank you, heart smiley face to this chick, she's going to be like, bitch, you just be smiley face and it hearts and everybody. That don't mean nothing to me now because I'm not the only one to get it. And I think sometimes I feel like because there's one of me and like 50 of you commenting, and some of you might be rolling your eyes like, bitch, that ain't nothing. You just need to like sit down and comment and be thankful for them, which I am. It's just there's one of me and there's 50 of you at any given time, or sometimes maybe more over the lifespan of a video. And it's just really hard to sit down and to think of something that's super thoughtful to each and every individual, especially when the comments are something just sweet and nice, like, you know, I love your stuff. If I say thank you with a heart and a smiley face 50 different times, it almost feels disingenuous. But sometimes I think it's, you know, it's all perspective. That might be the 50th one for me, but that's the first one for you, and maybe you really appreciate that. And I so hope that you guys do, because I really do mean them in a genuine way. But responding to comments, you know, I do that when I'm not working on YouTube stuff. I do that when I'm parenting. I do that while I'm writing, while I'm outlining, while I'm working on promotional stuff, while I'm proofing my book, while I'm beta reading somebody else's stuff. You know, a comment comes in and I try to get it to it like ASAP because it's easier to deal with like 2 comments and to think really thoughtfully like that than dealing with like, you know, 50 at a time. But, you know, I can't imagine what it's like for YouTubers who have like upwards of 10,000 or more subscribers, or even like 5,000, because what is it like for someone who literally puts up a video and like in the first 5 minutes they get 50 comments? You know, like how do you go through that? And I can understand someone, now that I am a content creator, I completely understand how people just can't comment because it's insane. There's just one of them, and you know, we only ever see these 5 to 15 to 20 minutes of somebody's life, and it's easy to think that all they ever do is just sit in the camera for that few minutes just for us. But you know, they have a whole fucking life going on, right? And you know, it's just the pressure and the stress of that is super high, because the last thing I think any of us want to ever do is not comment back to someone, and that destroys the whole inspiration of why that person commented in the first place. And that's super stressful. And that's just me talking about having to comment back to 50 people, you know, like literally just take the time out to say hi to 50 different people and not like 500 at a time. It's insane. I don't know, you know, like I know a lot of people can't do it because that is insane. I know like some people try to do it, and Jesus, I just balancing it. You know, how do you balance perception versus the reality of it? And woo, Muzakashi. But that's how I sort of fucking balance my life. I don't do it well at all. I usually just like stretch myself so thin that I become like the rubber woman, or really hope that I'm the rubber woman, because it would really suck to break, and I don't have time for that, like for reals, for reals. So what do you guys do? Like, if you have a busy life, you don't have to just be a content creator to like, know how to balance a whole bunch of crazy shit. I mean, let's talk about it. Is there such thing as balance? I once read a quote where somebody said that there is no such thing as balancing life. It's just about picking and choosing what you're going to hyper focus on at one time, and then really just kind of like hoping for the best. But do you balance life? Do you have any advice for us people who need to balance better? For a lot of you juggling a lot of different things at once, what do you do? How do you stay organized? Or, how do you power yourself through it? How do you not buckle under the pressure? How do you alleviate stress, and really just, what do you make time for that's super important that helps you? Or like, if you have any horror stories about how you did buckle under the pressure, feel free to share those. Sometimes we need a laugh. I'm just kidding. So just leave a comment down below. I just talked about how comments are so like much. No, but I really do love your guys' comments. Like I will always forever, ever, ever read every single one, even if I miss some. Leave a comment down below on how you guys balance, what your advice is. If you don't, if you need advice or whatever, just join the conversation and let's all try to help each other. So that's all I have for now. So I will see you guys in another video. TTYL, it's time for now. Bye. Bye.